I did not believe in ghosts. Sure, I was entertained by the notion, but anyone who came out and stated that they believed in ghosts, I dismissed as new age hippies or whatever. And then I lived in a haunted house. It started out as little things. The bathroom door would open violently if anyone ever closed the latch, so often that we came to count on it. I asked my roommate if he ever noticed a red light in the spare bedroom, as I always did when walking up the stairs in the dark. He did. I'd always go in the spare room to investigate, but could never find the source of the light. These things I could explain away. Then weirder things started to happen. One night, I was sitting in the living room with my GF and my roommate, when I noticed the shape of a woman's face appear in the pane of glass of the window in the other room. We all witnessed this. Even then, I tried to explain it away as a trick of the light. What finally convinced me that something was happening was one time when I was brushing my teeth. Something tugged insistently on my sleeve, and I'm 100% sure that I didn't catch it on anything. I was in the middle of the bathroom. Have you ever been fishing? It was like a fish was nibbling on the line, except on my t-shirt sleeve. That freaked me out. Still, stranger things happened. We'd hear footsteps upstairs while home alone. I often saw shadows out of the corner of my eye. One time I even saw a shadow while looking right at it, in the middle of the room, not up against a wall. I moved around to make sure for 5 minutes or so. Twice, while heading up the stairs to my room for bed, I heard a woman's voice say goodnight to me, over my shoulder. The strangest thing that happened was New Year's Eve, 3 years ago. My roommate and I were hosting a party, and waiting for people to show up, sitting in the living room. Suddenly I felt something brush against my arm, and the light bulb in the lamp I was sitting beside exploded. There were a few other things that happened, and some I'm forgetting, I'm sure. But the fact is that too many strange things happened for it to be a coincidence. I have since moved out of the house, but the belief remains. Something strange was happening there.
There is a black silhouette of a man that will appear on occasion in my parents' house, and has since we moved in when I was very young. We call him Bob, because that was the name of the old guy who lived there and died there before my parents bought it. Everyone in my family, mom, dad, 6 siblings, has seen him multiple times. Even the dogs bark at him. But he's never harmed anything. My mom swears he broke a cup once, but I'm pretty sure that it was a coincidence or something. But yeah, he checks up on us every once in a while. We'll be eating dinner or watching TV or whatever, and there he'll be, just standing in the doorway to our dining room. That's his favorite room, watching us. However, when you do look at him, he drifts out of the room and goes up the stairs to the 2nd floor, and then onwards to the attic stairs, and then into the attic. The only bad part about that is that the attic stairs are next to my bedroom door, so I get to deal with the door slamming every time he goes up there. Also, when I'm stoned, I have to go through his favorite room to get munchies, and I'm always terrified that he'll surprise me, and I'll number 2 myself or something.
No one else believes me when I tell this. My house 1953 has 2 ghosts. My stepdaughter and her stepmom claim to be able to sense them. They both said, "It's an old lady and an old man, don't worry, they're friendly." They said the old lady used to be a gardener, and she likes the plants you have. One day this neighbor was walking by who hadn't been by our house in some time, told my wife, "Oh my gosh, I haven't been by in forever." I remember the old lady who used to live here. She always had flowers out front here, and a bunch of plants inside the dining room. As she looks in our window and says, "Just like you guys do." They mess with us. Mostly me often. I set my cooler down to wash it, turned around to turn on the hose. When I looked back, my dog's toy was in the cooler. They've turned lights on and off. The craziest one was, I threw away some moldy cheese in the morning and went to work. When I got home, the cheese was back in the fridge. I asked my wife if she took it out. She said, "Why the fuck would I take moldy cheese out of the trash and put it back in the fridge?" Also, supposedly, since dogs can see them. One time, my 2 dogs and my stepdaughter's dog were all looking up at the ceiling, moving their heads back and forth in sync, as if they were following something that was moving.
I never lived in a haunted house, but I did have strange things happening after my mom passed away. She said she would let me know she was okay after she died, and I truly believe it was her. Only happened for 2 weeks, then stopped. My girlfriend at the time experienced it as well, so I know it was real. We had objects moved at night to different places. I woke up to a noise to see an arm floating through the door. It knocked over a card on a jewelry chest, and the handles were shaking afterwards like something bumped it. I literally saw a piece of paper picked up off a table, lifted into the air, then moved over 2 feet and dropped. There is no other explanation for any of it. Cats were not in the room to hit the jewelry box, no fans or AC on to move the paper. And yes, I was sober for it all. Then all of it just stopped and never occurred again. Don't let the skeptics pour water on your lived experience. There are many mysterious things that happen that we don't fully understand yet. Energy cannot be destroyed, it only changes state. I've lived in a haunted house my whole childhood and suspect mine is haunted now. Growing up, my bed would shake. I'd hear a pipe organ at night. There were none around us at all. Not a chance. Neighbors were miles apart. I heard audible voices, an angry man usually now and then, the feeling of being watched in certain rooms. Doors would slam and things would fall off shelves. We largely ignored it. My parents denied it happened. I ignored it or talked to whatever it was. If I was alone in my room and felt watched, I'd tell it to leave me alone, please. The only thing that felt threatening was the bed shaking. Current house, lights flicker until I ask it to stop. Things are moved around. In the kitchen, I feel like someone walks up behind me and looks over my shoulder. It really feels like someone is there. I've seen shadows dart down the hallway. It feels like one person. I don't feel threatened. I just ignore it mostly. The lights, I do ask it to stop and they do.
This house was built in 1954, and I moved in about 2.5 years ago. I live alone with my dog. Things started happening within a few weeks of moving. Lights turning on and off, doors closing on their own, etc. One night, I was sitting at the kitchen island, eating dinner, and a hand grabbed my torso. I also randomly smell cigarette smoke or a strong perfume from time to time. My guest bedroom is carpeted, and you can easily see if someone has walked across the carpet. But often the blinds will be randomly open after I have closed them, with no visible footprints on the carpet. My mom came to visit and said that she was getting ready in the morning when someone loudly said her name. My best friend was getting ready one morning in that same bathroom, and he said he backed up into a person, but nobody was there. They each told me this on their own. I'd never mentioned that I thought the house was haunted to them. Today, my AirPods case randomly flew off the kitchen counter. I know this sounds kind of ridiculous, but I really think this place is haunted, and I'm wondering if anyone has experienced something similar, or how they live with it. I don't feel threatened or unsafe, but it's just weird.